Just had a couple of connection issues in the first stream. But now we're on. Today we're playing some high-stakes PLO around the Cash Game World Championship. This is day 7, so the end of week 1. Maybe there is some time and room to discuss, you know, some of the unfoldings, some of the current situation, status quo, all this kind of stuff. But first and foremost, we're playing the game, the great game, maybe the greatest game, Pot Limit Omaha. Across multiple tables, 10-20. And there is also some tournament action going. The 1K just started. I mean, the 1K, there might be a 2K and 5K down the road as well. So we'll see how this unfolds. Over here, raise button, see bet the flop. So far, so good. And go for a second value bet here in the turn. The river and win. Nice. And Jack 9-5 raising here on the button. So to all right, gonna bring in the tournament here in a second. I mean, if something interesting happens, obviously. Otherwise, what's the point? PLO World Championship over here. Over in this table, we have a cold 4-bet spot with aces. called. And here my opponent plays check call flop. Turn goes check check and then pots the river. I mean, I don't hate calling necessarily. You can definitely have like kings and hearts. Ace jack, aces. I mean, he needs to dig a bit deeper to find some bluffs. He folded on the other table, by the way. But it's by no means impossible. Make a little bit of a light call here on the river. He does have kings and hearts. Not really surprising, but sometimes he's going to have the equivalent hand with the blocker. So holding a heart in my hand there and not blocking the king that turns itself into a bluff, or the queen, I think it's pretty reasonable. Okay, let's hope that this stream is now stable. That would be nice. Check back on the flop here. Turn as well. Collect some money on the river, maybe chop. Okay, it's a chop. Over here, my opponent defends against an earlier seat. I mean, it's going to be pretty difficult to deal with pressure here. So we can turn a jack into a bluff, like some gutters. Maybe even some of the kings. Depends what the side cards are. And obviously, this is one of our best hands. So we're betting. Over here we get in a bit of a dicey spot, so it's the most aggressive seats in the mix. So button opens, we 3-bet, we get cold 4-bet by the optimist. It's a tricky spot. The solution says to fold, but it's not really in the book here for me against this guy. Gotta be a bit more sticky, so either we're gonna call or jam. I think both is quite reasonable. I think calling with this hand is okay. Oh shit. Oh man, come on. I didn't realize that my time bank ran out there, which usually doesn't happen. I think it's because I was sitting out before or something. It's a bit annoying. Yeah. I mean, so he chooses like ace 10 6 4 double to 4-bet. It's pretty wild. But I think calling for us is better than jamming, like even exploitatively. But running out of time, not GTO. We're here to flop the nuts. Pretty good spot to check raise with backdoor hearts. We also block one spade, so we have a few more clean runouts there. We're on this table, check, check, check on the flop. As we turn the nuts. All right, so. Not hearing enough BAMs. Well, let's see what the day has in store. Let's see. All right, so we open King, King, Jack 9 with hearts and a diamond. Yeah, it's a pretty good flop for the small blind here with 2 Broadway cards. And the clubs comes out for the lead, not too surprising, and we have a pretty straightforward call. Turn brings in the club. Yeah, so we're behind here, like basically always. If he happens to have a blocker and we haven't beat, he would already bet this turn. So this is not looking very good right now. But we'll see. So river pairs the board. He's likely to have some sort of flush. But it's just a bit, you know, too bad of a hand to... Oh, he doesn't. That's interesting. Gives up. We take it. We take it. Down here, we open raise, bet the flop, check back the turn. And collect money on the river. By the end of the challenge, you have to move the HUD to see your own cards. Yeah. It's an interesting observation. You know, if the results don't come, just expand the HUD, you know, until all the info is there. Maybe then we can win some pots, right? I'll see. I just added 2 rows. But yeah, the HUD that I'm using, I built myself, but like some of the custom stats, a friend of mine helped me to, or provided them to me. But yeah, it's not available or something like that. I mean, I made several videos about huts. It's really about like creating your own huts, because you need to understand what what you're looking for, what you're using it for. So here, actually kind of like betting with my hand. I have the Queen of Clubs and not looking to play check call. We have some magic outs as well. Jack of Diamonds, for example. Could be a nice one. It's not a Jack of Diamonds. It's a slightly different card. Barrel this turn. Okay. We're on this table with 3-bet pre-flop, bet the flop, and get called. Turn brings in the heart. Pretty interesting. We're gonna bet fold this turn. So go for this sizing here. Interesting. So opponent plays call. And I think on the river we are gonna jam. Do we love the king? Not necessarily. Well, we got ace high, you know. Sometimes you got to put in all the chips and hope your opponent folds. Over here, I think I limped the button. Things are happening quick here. And check it a little bit around. All right. What is this? 4, 5, 6, 7. This guy pots the river. Sounds expensive. It's not an unreasonable hand to call here. Why not? I mean, when the turn goes check, 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 you know, gotta find some hands to on the river. Even though it is 3 ways. Here we call. Can we win? No, this is a limped pot. And let's bring in a tournament hand, because why not, right? So here we open raise with ace king 3-3. And I bet the flop. So currently we are 9 players in the tournament, yeah. So ace, queen, queen, 5 with hearts. not too eager about the flop, to be fair. Just gonna go ahead and bet fold the flop. And then here we raise from the small blind in the tournament. Yeah, so in 28 minutes we should have a 2K tournament running as well. Looks like it's gonna get running. All right, so here half pot on the flop. I mean, we don't love the diamonds, but not gutter. 4 over cards. We're gonna see a turn. Turn is a 6. That's interesting. Large bet on the turn. Okay. Oh, I was expecting to see the hand. I was like, what does he have? Let's see. I guess we're not going to get to see it. I'm already getting used to seeing the whole cards. Yeah, so we raised the button, get called in the tournament. Just gonna go for a check back on the flop. It's kind of, I mean, it's with 2 backdoor flush draws, we just can't bet fold the open ender in a pair. So we could also bet and just get it in. It's not unreasonable considering that in a tournament, like, we're gonna have a much better range on the flop. And then on the turn, just gonna bet the turn. Then continue against the raise. We have to, but yeah. I don't know. On the flop, I guess I prefer in hindsight just betting. And well, if we get raised, we get raised. All right. Yeah. So quite a few tables going. I'm gonna address some of the questions in a bit. Or let's see. Yeah, I don't like the replayer either of Coinpoker. The thing is, I'm not the, you know, I know it's surprising, but I'm not the Coinpoker developer, you know. So your request about fixing the replayer is unfortunately misaddressed. I cannot reprogram it, you know. I'm just playing and streaming on the side. That's pretty much it, you know. Coinpoker these days is a big operation, you know. A lot of people doing different stuff. I don't have any say in, like, you know, guys, you need to develop now this. But sure, I mean, they know that replayer needs to be fixed and improved. Of course. I personally just use the hand-to-node replayer to look at hands. Over here in the tournament, pick up aces. We squeeze the juice out of this hand. Let's see. 14 big blinds here, pre. I mean, for a 3-way spot, it's not really the flop we're looking for. Heads up, we would just rip this in with the 9 blocker, but 3 ways, just can't do it. It's just not going to be good. Got to check. Have to check. I mean, that card makes it even worse. I have a feeling we're not going to win this hand. Unless the river's a diamond. Then we might have a chance. Okay, we're not going to win this hand. All right, what is this? This guy has the nuts, known as the nuts. And he is winning a huge pot there, actually. Okay. Ace, queen, 10, 3. Just gonna give it up. Tournament, we got the nuts. King, king, 9-7, double suited. And a limp from the cutoff. Crazy daisy. The big blind has only 5 big blinds. But does he want to risk it? Apparently, yes. He leaves the big blind behind. Interesting flop here. Just gonna pot the whole thing. There's one hand we don't want to see. Let's see. Okay, that's workable. 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 That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Let's go. I didn't want to see the non-flush draw with top pair. That would have been pretty brutal. Over here, we raise under the gun, as you guys saw before. And so we call, flop checks around, turn, I check again. River is the ace. Maybe there's some hope there to get value. Let's see where this goes. Small bet. We just call the 9 high flush in a multi-way pot. Call and collect. Nope. Second best hand. All right. Over here, we limp called pre. Check call the flop. Not a great turn here on the king. So many good bluffs for him, but also so much thick value. Ace 9, ace king, king, king. Ace ace, even ace 5, I suppose. Just gonna... Even if I do have the best hand, there's so many rivers that will make it almost impossible to play. So we're just gonna surrender, and we are cooked. Tournament goes on a break. This hand I like limping. So as the tournament goes on a quick break, like here are some of the results from the challenge overall. So we had this like 15 buy-in up, and then this one terrible session where we lost 30 buy-ins. Would have been nice to not have the session, I suppose. It goes down 30 buy-ins, and so we fought our way back up here, down, up, down, and this is kind of like where we're at the moment. Okay, so a lot of multi-way action. Here's another example. It's kind of a weird spot. This guy bets multi-way. Magic River. Can we get value? So we play check, call, river. Beautiful stuff, unless we chop. Our time bank on this table is a bit short. We're all in. Get called. Let's... What? Slow roll, or what is this? The slow roll for the chop? Great slow roll. Here we get potted 3 ways. Just gotta fold. Over here, flop check raise by my opponent. Just gonna raise it back. Pretty nice combination of blockers in my hand, and we take it down. We block obviously top set, but we also block the big combo draws holding the 2 5s in my hand. Like, it's not the best flop 3-bet on like low stakes PLO, because people will just get it in with like, they check raise like queen 7 too often, let's say, and get it in. But at these stakes, the check raising range is properly polarized, so see a lot of like middle pair, maybe top pair that cannot continue against even a small re-raise on the flop. So clicking it back makes more sense at this stake, but not all the things you're gonna see in this stream are things you should be exercising. Over here, 4-way single raise pot. A lot of the spots are multi-way as well, so it's a bit different, or a lot different to the usual skill set, which is more of a, you know, a lot of the pots are heads up when you play a traditional 2-blind game. So a lot of the skill set that I build up is based on 2 players are seeing the flop, but now with the no rake and the high ante, you're gonna have a lot of spots where the ranges in play are pretty wild. I mean, they're like white, not wild necessarily. Here we're just giving up. It's pretty unreasonable to bet without a heart in a multi-way spot like this. Over here we check raise the flop. This guy bets river. We get called after check raising. Pretty interesting turn. Just got to continue on this turn. Over here we have an easy fold. I don't know what this is achieving, but okay. What does he have? Wow, he's just shoving with the 7. Yeah, these games are pretty aggressive. I mean, I don't think this is good or anything, but yeah, sometimes we're bluffing and then it's gonna work. That was a pretty wild line, obviously. I'm gonna take a note there. So. That's a nice run out. In the tournament, defended the big blind here. It's a pretty bad turn, man. Wow. Okay, so I think just checking seems pretty reasonable. It's not like we're representing kings or something pre in the tournament this short, right? So it's tough to rep too many boats. We also have some showdown. Let's get rid of the music before I tilt my socks off. Okay. Yeah, so updates on the challenge. Let's have a look here. So basically, this is like how the last 3 days have looked like playing. Let me just bring in the lines. One without showdown. Basically, this is the last 3 days of action. I've been playing like 90% on, what is this? Let's see. Well, not 90%, but 7,000 hands at 2K. And I've been playing, let's update this for a second. So I've been playing 7,000 hands on 2K and 344 hands at 500. So needless to say, I've been basically playing 2K only. Tough pools, very aggressive opponents. Very happy with the result, obviously. I mean, we ran under EV, unfortunately. Like, we should have won like 9,000 back. But yeah, it is what it is. And you can tell, like, based on red line and all the stuff, this, you know, this is a real battle. We're fighting here for every pot. You play the same players day in, day out. So it's an extremely interesting meta between all the, you know, top end regulars here. It's very interesting and fun to play as well. And sometimes it is, I guess, pretty gut wrenching or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's really amazing. It's like I didn't feel as motivated to play PLO in a long time like this because there's so much to learn and get better at. And it's just like interesting to like play the same players and you know they're going to show up the next day again, right? So the things you figure out are actually of use. And the whole the whole mindset around it anyway, like playing, everyone knows like there's no hiding, like you have to beat the other regulars. It's definitely something if you are a professional player or serious recreational player, I would look into your database and see like how are you performing against only regulars, because I mean that statistic exists in hand to note, for example. And yeah, if you want to have a high win rate, like you need to be able to beat the other regulars. So learning how to do that better is like, this is the perfect environment to do that. You get so much feedback. Where are we at? Here, call a 3-bet, and then in the tournament, we open raise. And could actually decide to slow play this hand as well. We block a lot. Gonna start delaying turn. Interesting run out. So my opponent plays check, call, turn, lead, river. I think this is very often like a straight or something, but not a flush. Kind of want to use a sizing that is challenging this range a bit more. Something like this. Because otherwise he can just like fold, you know, very easily with a bunch of those medium strong hands. And I want to, because like if I'm using a very large sizing, it's just over here. So he 3-bets pre. The flop goes check, check, turn is a king. I think we are fine betting the turn. It's a bit dicey. It's a bit dicey, actually. Should I bet the turn, I guess? So river 6. I think all options are on the table. I don't like raising too much, to be honest. I think his value betting range will very often consist of a king. So yeah, here I don't mind calling, actually. Yeah, I don't mind calling too much. I think it's okay. Does have the aces and the 7 blocker. And then here, single raise, pot, blind on blind. He bets flop, check, rips the turn. A lot of draws that I'm unblocking. I'm not too happy about it, but I think it goes in. Okay. Yeah, I'm unblocking like all these draws. So even though against ace 8 or better, I'm dead, it's still a spot where we want to get it in. So we do. And now currently we're in first position. But it's early days in the tournament, obviously. Calling with the queens. Losing versus aces. Oh, you don't see it. You see this, actually. I mean, the other spot was pretty sort of irrelevant. In the tournament. Assuming you saw the big spot where I added all those chips. Because now we have 142 big blinds there. I need to get used to streaming again, it feels like. So button open, top and bottom, weak backdoor flush draw. All right, check, check. Nice turn. Yeah, there is definitely a lot of variance involved. But I mean, are the edges that thin? I would say. One second, what am I showing? The aces here, okay. So I would say that if everyone plays on their absolute A game and you put them aside, you're next to each other, I would say the edges can be pretty thin, possibly, right? But the reality is it's not how it's going to work. You know, some people will play really good sometimes and some people play kind of bad. Because we're talking about 4 weeks of like high volume action, right? And we're also talking about complexities within the game tree that are pretty new. You know, all this like multi-way stuff. People aren't as prepared for it because, again, in a traditional 2-blind game, you don't really have as many multi-way pots as in this case. So, you know, I use these sort of strategic and mindset primers, and I just realized that, you know, I can have an edge over anyone in the field if I play on my A game. But if I don't play my A game, then I probably don't have an edge on anyone on the field, and I'm losing, right? So, and I think that's true for pretty much everyone in this one. So just as a, you know, at this level, like, it really matters a lot, like how you show up. And that's not easy when you talk about showing up at your best for weeks at a time with this high of volume. So here we have a lot of blockers. I think we're just ripping this in, preferably seeing the fold, but even if not, it's going to be okay. Standard 3-bet. Over here in the tournament, we have an interesting spot. Oh, wow. Wow, this is a big spot in the tournament. Set over set. Oh, wow. That's a big one. That is a big one. Okay, now we're really in first place. Baby says, I'm going to win this tournament. I don't care how many buy-ins. Might be an expensive exercise. Okay, so the 2K tournament started as well. So maybe we have to like cap our table, the amount of tables we're playing a little bit here, just to make sure you guys are capable of following along properly. So here we're playing a $2,000 tournament, just started now. We open the button and call it 3-bet in position. Flop goes check, check. Fold in the turn. I always expect to see the whole cards, but I guess sooner than we wish, it's going to be the old days. Remember when you were able to see all the whole cards when someone bets and you folded? That sense of relief, or the sense of, I just got owned. Well, those days are gone. Not now, but soon. Okay, what happens here? Let's switch to this table right there. Raise call on the button. All right. So what happens here? We call another 3-bet, of course. I'm going to call the flop here in a second. Over here at 2K, very nice flop. Goes check, check, though. Turn now, 8 of diamonds. Block a lot of our own outs. We don't block the bluffs. We don't block the value. We're going to start with the check. And on the river, kind of the same story, just check calling. Here, he checks the turn to me. Sure, we take that free card river, the ace. How good can we feel about the ace? Calling here the river. Okay, paying off the small flush. Check on the ace. We lose ace king 3-4. Kind of a nasty c-bet, to be honest. Kind of a nasty c-bet. Nice looking hand over here. Yeah, there's supposed to be a 5K as well. Where's the 5K? Only one person sitting so far. Over here in the 2K, we're just going to check fold the flop. Oh, it goes check, check, check fold the turn. Very nice hand over here to work with. Okay. So we 3-bet and get raised on the flop small. I think just continuing with a call is completely fine. Taking it from there. Turning a flush is nice. And we win some chips. Gonna 3-bet this one. Against 4-bet, we got a surrender. All right. Okay, we've successfully reduced the table amounts here a bit. Over here, 2K cash game, we c-bet the flop. Turn is quite magical. The king of diamonds. Interesting river. Feels a bit thin betting. Not quite sure. I think it's okay to check. All right. Okay, so we got a 2K tournament. We got a 1K tournament over here, where we are chip leading currently with 8 players remaining. I mean, it's still early days. Late rec ends in 30 minutes. Last week we went in second over here. We also played a 5K, got second, but that's probably not going to run today. I would guess so, at least. And, ooh, we got some pretty nice crypto recoveries on their way, which is very, very sweet for me. Does Tony G still play on Coin? I saw a video on YouTube pop up like yesterday or something. I'm not really sure what it was. I think it was him playing or something, but I didn't watch the video. Would you rather be the best PLO tournament player or the best PLO cash game player? Like, what is the most value? I mean, I would definitely be rather the best cash game player. I think that's going to translate into becoming one of the top tournament players much easier than the other way around. Like, if you were to tell a... If you were to tell, what is going on here? Just kind of a bit small. If you were to tell a, what is it called? Freaking cash game player to become good at tournaments, and they are like a top tier cash game player, it's not going to be like that difficult. This guy plays check, hold, lead, turn. That's interesting. Interesting dynamics here. Just gonna call because like calling I think is gonna look more credible for the river than going for something like a race. And with a 10 we can just show down. Okay, let's have an ace, so just trapping there on the river. That's fine too. So let's see. In the tournament, in the 1K, gonna 3-bet the king 8-7. It's a hand that has to surrender against the 4-bet, unfortunately. I'm still expecting to see the hand, but we don't see the freaking hand. Okay. We got a big spot coming up over here. Ace, ace, king, jack, double. Cold 4 coming in. Make it 810. We got 2 very nice suits. The diamonds, the spades. This might be a costly flop. 2 backdoor flush draws here. I mean, the range is pretty or so that he can definitely have some pretty disgusting hands here, like a 5-6, for example. But just got to go with this one. Hope we're not dead. Very nice. Very nice. Obviously, as the single suited 5-6. You know, so the thing about this hand, right? Just to re-emphasize that one more time, just to bring that to the attention. It's like in this hand, like in the EV, like the way the challenge is set up, right? And there's no better way, by the way, but like the way this challenge is set up, it's going to look on paper like I made a huge mistake, right? I punted away some stacks because the EV I gained by cold 4-betting this hand is not at all attributed to my win rate in any way, right? It's just like, yeah, I cold 4-bet double suited aces and then got it in a completely normal flop, but I was just dead. And so the all-in EV will be very, very low for a big amount of money. So like my win rate will go just like down, down, down in this hand, even though like we played the hand, you know, in the most standard optimal way ever. So the variance that we're exposing ourselves to goes so much beyond the all-in EV graph, because all-in EV wise, it was not a pretty look there. Over here we limp call under the gun. And we're gonna check raise the flop right away. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, right? That hand is gonna look so bad on paper when we just printed EV in this hand, like real EV with the 4-bet and getting it in on the flop, you know? So it is what it is. Like, say, I don't know, if you look at the last 3 days session here, right? So it shows like, I mean, even aside from that hand, I should be up 2,800 in this session. I'm down 3K. But like my EV is actually like much higher in this session because again, those unaccounted the unaccounted EV from just cold 4-betting that doesn't get attributed. Okay, over here. Let's see if these guys keep flopping the nuts. Wait, the sound is bad? No, the sound is good, right? Yeah, so here on the flop. Oh man, the 2KB might get stacked. Looks like it at least. King 8 with the flush draw, yeah. So here we have a pretty normal jam again, and like if this guy shows up with the freaking set, it's not gonna look that sweet, you know? So we get it in. He has kings. I mean, in histories I would just 4-bet pre. We chop. Okay, we're lucky on that one for sure. But again, it's like we run into like the a hand there that is we're doing really poorly against. But we could also just like get the folds and just print EV there. Or print chips. But yeah. that's why it's important to have a good process to review your sessions, because you need to objectively assess, like, hey, did I play well? Did I not play well? And not just like look at the outcome. It doesn't matter if it's all in EV or normal big blinds per 100 or red line, whatever it is. You need to like really look at the individual hands. Yeah, so here we get called on the turn. I'm going to go for check call on the river. Like, my hand is better as a check call than trying to value bet thin. I mean, the river doesn't necessarily instill me with a lot of confidence, but we have pretty easy call. Unmute yourself. I shouldn't be on mute. 1 second. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, right? That hand is gonna look like it's gonna. That's pretty strange. It is muted on Discord. It is muted on Twitch. I'm down 3K, but it's not muted on YouTube. 1 second. So this guy limps on the button. Get it in. Somehow has a set. That's not the hand I wanted to see. That is for sure. We get Mr. Vini Vidi joining the 2K tournament. That's nice. It's also the games are playing bigger than advertised. So like if you like the win rates, I wouldn't like think about them as in, or even the swings, I wouldn't think of them as much as in, you know, big blinds per 100, because it's not really a normal 10-20 game. It plays a lot more aggressive, a lot more deep stacked. You have to like bluff, catch, and bluff like much thinner. So standard deviation goes up by a lot. Let me type into Twitch for a moment. Yeah, I don't know what happens there, why it's muted on Twitch randomly. Yeah, I don't know how to fix the whole Twitch mute thing midstream or at all. So we just have to roll with it. All right, back into the action over here. See bet mid set. So turn brings in a jack. Could decide to barrel or check. Don't mind going for another bet here. And over on this table, call a C bet. Just going for river block. Oh, now it's fine. Okay, we're back on Twitch apparently. That's nice to hear. Okay, so Jack, 10-8, pretty substantial blockers and also range advantage for imposition. Like you can bet a pretty wide range of different kinds of hands as long as they have some sort of connection to the board, like mine. And then figure it out on turns and rivers about what you want to do. I wonder how tough it would be to check EV street by street. I mean, you would have to know what the theoretical GTO EV would be, right? And that is pretty tough. For like every spot you're in, SBR and so on. I think it's just important as a player to be aware that judging your game is a real skill. And that it is very easy for the human mind to bias yourself into thinking, oh, you're doing terrible, like you're worse than you are, or you're better than you are, right? Like if you look at anyone who's on the top of the leaderboard right now, you know, for them it's very difficult to truly assess the edge they have in the field, right? Because if you just smash the field like this hard over this sample, you can only think, but like, hey, I'm crushing everyone, you know, like I'm doing really good, like I'm outplaying all these players, right? And it's very hard to remain objective and say like, wait a moment, I think I need to like really work on my game and make sure that I make the right moves in the right moments and that my lines are solid. And you know, the same thing is true when you're running really bad. You're like, oh my God, nothing is working. They're over my head or in my head and they know always what I have. And because maybe you play like, you know, 10 showdowns where you bluff and they call you 10 times, that's part of variance. Like you have a good hand to bluff, but they have an even better hand to bluff catch with, and you just get, you know, called many times in a row. Like that's part of variance. It's not displayed in any sort of way in your EV graph or in your big blind win rate or something. So you have to assess it by yourself and be like, hey, I bluffed 10 times, I got called 10 times, but 10 times out of 10 it was the right decision, maybe, right? Or maybe 3 times it was the wrong decision, but by how much? Oh, not by that much. Okay, I see. So actually I'm playing solid, and I just need to keep playing solid, right? So having that level of objectivity and even the skill to it, right? That is definitely a skill in itself. So this is an interesting spot. This guy pots the turn into 2 or in a 4-way pot, and then keeps potting the river. Kinda small blind tanks for a reasonable amount of time. So maybe he has a flush, which would be amazing in terms of removals, but maybe he has a set. I mean, if he tanks for a little bit, he probably has at least one club. So that's going to help us for sure. Yeah, I think we just got to call, closing the action as well, and hope for this hand. It's a pretty interesting river spot, considering I don't know what's going on in the 2K over here. Considering like the three-way dynamic and the removal effects that could be implied because of it. Check around on the flop. Sorry. Checks around on the flop. This guy bets the turn. Veiny bets. Call. He rips. A lot of combo draws available. We're never dead. We need like 37% equity. Blocked 5-6. Guess we gotta go with it. It's obviously not very happy about it, but yeah. He has 5-6. That's unfortunate. I mean, that's the worst hand we want to see. But even against that hand, I think we had like 28. Flopping the straight here. So whether you're running super bad or you're running mediocre or just like as you should, quote unquote, like the most important thing is that you have a certain process to just continuously reevaluate, improve your game. It doesn't really matter if you have an edge in the game or, you know, because a lot of people are like, how do I know you have an edge in the game or something, you know, and this is like complete distraction from what actually matters, which is like, how do I get better? And again, you can have an edge in the game, most likely, if you're somewhat studied at any point. But you can also lose the edge really quick. So it's more about how you show up and how you continuously improve, more so than, you know, have this sort of static viewpoint of, do I have an edge in the game? Here on the flop, I think we just have to call and then reassess on the turn. Obviously, we don't like this turn. Behind here, even against the bluffs. Can you make a 1-minute video about EV so I can explain my wife why they can't pay them the rent to this house? Well, the thing is, if you truly would understand EV and its implications, you would probably set up a system where that's not really a problem, right? But yeah, that's the game we choose to play, you know. So the better you understand EV, the smarter your decisions should also become financially, right? Because you understand what you signed up for. So anyway, as far as, let's see. As far as the current session is going, where is it? So here is the current session right now, 2 hours and 8 minutes. Didn't play that many hands, I suppose. Oh no, we played 542 hands, and we're down $600. We should be up $4,400. But again, it's just one way to assess variance. Maybe we should be up a lot more because we cold 4-bet, you know, ace, king, jack, double suited and got completely messed up on the flop. But again, we already discussed that it's a dead horse to beat. But I think it's something that occupies people's minds a lot. So here, yeah, I'm streaming. So here, 3-way pot. Close the door. Just range betting flop. turn is a bit tricky on the 4. I mean, we don't have a lot of incentive of Then on the river, I mean, maybe we can block a hand like ace-king. Ace-jack seems a bit thin. We also lose against ace-7 now. So the real question is like, how thin is he value betting? I don't block kings, which I kind of like. King, king, 5 deuce, like queen, 5 deuce, 3-4 combos. Some king jack. I think we want to call sometimes. Not holding a king is nice. Not holding a 10 is nice. Not holding a deuce or a 3. Got to call here quite often. Goes for half, so we have to call a lot. So yeah. Somehow he has aces. I mean, that hand makes sense as well. Like, well, it doesn't really make sense. I guess he's always a 4-bet on the button, but I think, you know, like you look at a hand like this as an example, right? And then say like, oh my God, like how do we call the river and then lost there? But if you have the right tools to assess, you know, the quality of your play on the river, and also if you have a reasonable thought process that you can go through to double check, you know, so on the river, right, we're facing like a half pot size bet. Right, so we're facing a half pot size bet. Like we need to continue a massive part of our range there on the river. And we happen to have an ace. So like some of the ace-x hands definitely have to go into the calling range, because a lot of the good ace-x hands are just value betting myself. You know, if I have ace-queen, maybe even ace-king, ace-7, I'm betting. Here in the 2K, with the low suit, I think we're just going to limp. With like high suits, you can also make an argument for raising there on the button. It's a pretty bad flop over here in the game. Just got to put it in again. Just potting the flop. Could also go for like a slightly smaller size. You can get it in as well. But it won't change that much. So opponent just calls. Turn is a non-hard, so that's good. And we're going to jam. Hope to be not that. Or hope to maybe get a fold. All right, we run into ace-king. Good on the first one. And we chop again. All right, all right. I mean, fair enough. Equities on the flop are probably pretty reasonable for both sides, but we don't win the whole thing. This hand is almost good enough to cold call there, but it's a bit too weak. The 500 games are like, they're really soft. and very crazy. So I did play 500 for a little bit, as you can tell, based on the sample and so on, and it's like an extremely beatable game. You know, mind you, there is no rake, and a lot of the players are going for points or at least for a ton of volume. So if you pay attention to the games and you take notes on players and so on, you don't pay rake, and it's a great stake. I mean, a lot of money can be made. You know, I thought about playing 500. I'm not sure if I'm going to go back to playing 500, maybe. But then, you know, looking at the 2K games, I'm just like, when I show up at my best, I'm very confident I have an edge in the game. And I also become better as a player and just enjoy the games a lot more because they're like intellectually more stimulating. So I just prefer to do that over playing 500. But like again, 500, you know, you're playing 500 with a wide range of different players, a huge player pool in this championship in the 500 pool, and you're paying no rake. So obviously the games are extremely beatable. You know, imagine in the same games you usually, let's say, breaking even, but you're paying 7 big blinds or 5 big blinds 100. Now with the same outcome, you would just win 5 or 7 big blinds per 100 because there's no rake attached to it. And I would say the games are even, you know, softer than usual just because people are playing all this like massive volume, and they are super wild, you know, deep stack stuff, a bunch of different ways to generate edges. So yeah, it's a ton of fun playing right now on Coin, these deep stacked 500 games. I'm sure I'm going to make some content for the mastermind for it. I already did, but even more. There's definitely some educational stuff there. But as far as like high level, you know, my own willingness to, I don't really need the money that I could make on 500, if that makes sense. Like I don't really need that. So I prefer just competing at the highest level of the championship and playing against really good players and sharpening my game and testing my game, that kind of stuff. So this guy opens button, bets turn small. I mean, he could even do this with king, queen. It's not really the proper sizing, like you would just want to pot the turn or check. But I think this is a recreational player. And he has queen 5, but rivered a set of something, set of 8s, right? Over here, just betting flop in a single raise pot. Taking it down. And we're back on a tournament break. Just gotta put it in. So let's look into the tournaments. So number one, over here we have a $2,000 tournament. $2,000 tournament, 5 players are currently in. First prize is $13,000. I already finished once, amazing. We're in the second bullet. Currently Pablo on top. Then we got this tournament over here. This is a weekly $1,000 tournament. The other one is also every week on Sunday. $10,000 for first. Currently we're here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th position out of 12 players remaining. And over here we defended the big blind. A little bit of a light hand, heading to the flop 3 ways. I'm gonna raise here on the flop. Don't think we have to go super big against 2. But this sizing is required. It's kind of nice when we see a bet and a call because they remove, like it's more likely they both have like top pair or something along those lines. So the amount of sets is a bit reduced. Okay, we get called anyway. Turn is a queen. It's not too great, but obviously we have the advantage there, range versus range. So we get to fold out a bunch of other draws, other flush draws. by betting really small. But yeah, he's going to have like 8-8 and Queen 8 here as well. Or Queen X. So that is the bad news part about it. That's a super weird run out. If he has 8-8, is he going to fold is the question. I mean, he basically has like, at the worst, kings. Then he has like a queen a bunch of the time, and then he has 8s that might call down. Yeah, he has like kings at the worst. Well, I guess like 8-8, but like 8-8 might actually choose to call down more than kings because he's like blocking some of the value that I was initially raising on the flop. Over here we get it in, check raising the flop, pretty standard stuff. Okay. I mean, he's shoving the flop with like 2 pair, no draw. I mean, no real draw. Probably would just call the flop there against the flop check raise. So we're here with 3-bet. We get cold called after 3-betting by the snapper. Pretty nice flop there on deuce 3. So just looking to bet and then sort of get the money in on non-spade cards. All right, tournaments resume. Why is there no rake? Because this is part of the Cash Game World Championship. This is an event hosted by Coinpoker. 4 weeks of PLO action across the stakes of 500 PLO and 2,000 PLO. There's no rake throughout the entire period. Different prizes to win. It's pretty exciting stuff. Here, it's kind of weird. We block kings and queens. So it's kind of tough to get value here down the road. I mean, you could have a hand like ace, king, ace, queen, ace, 7 now. So yeah, we bet turn. Or we get called. Okay. And then obviously potting river, trying to get a light call here. But not this time. Is it entity or cash? Well, it is both, right? We're playing 2 tournaments and we're playing 3 cash games. Straightforward defend. Yeah, so he's not going to have that flush draw here very often at all. But also we block the best bluffs, the king of spades and the queen of spades. So we just prefer betting ourselves, hoping to get called by a straight, maybe ace-8. Obviously a low flush is going to call as well. Nice. Ace. Was it 2-pair somehow? He made a straight, huh? Okay, nice. Nine eight plan versus a raise with ace 10 8 8. Just calling and then reevaluating on rivers. Over here we have a sweet hand. A sweet, sweet hand. Could be a 3-bet, could be a 4-bet, could be a cold call of a 3-bet. Everything is possible with this hand, but the only thing that's not possible is folding. So 10 9 8 6 double. We 3-bet against Casca Grossa. We could hit some deceptive flops here. Possible. Come on, just a fold, I guess. I was getting excited with this hand. So as far as the tournaments go, here we have 11 players in the 1K. Late rec period is over. So 11 players are battling it out. For 4 players are getting paid. We're currently in 5th position with 34 big blinds. In the 2K, we are still 5 players. And we still have an hour of late rec open. Familiar faces sitting. I mean, as far as the edges are concerned, I can see there's a discussion in the chat previously. There are clearly some players that are better than others, right? It's not like these are all robots by any means. A lot of the playing styles are, you can say like tendencies of the way they play are actually very different from player to player, which is very good and healthy to see, even at a stake like 2K. So it means that there's still, room for interpretation and disagreements. It's not like everyone has identified this is the way you have to play the game because it yields the most EV, and if you deviate from it, you're going to get punished. It's not like that at all. Like different players are playing very different from each other, and that's really good to see. But that being said, what I was trying to express before is just that even if one of the better players that plays generally really good has a nice edge, has a bad day in terms of the way they show up, they can still be clearly an underdog to the field. So here we defend, just check folding the flop. And then in the tournament, we defend the small blind. Let's see what happens here. So check to the button. Just like trying to make the button commit something that is more marginal. In the 2K tournament against the Limpy raise with this hand. So let's see. Yeah, so we just got to go with this. It's just too shallow. We might be in bad shape, but the 6 block or the fold equity, we just got to take that and make it work or put it to work. Like all in against one, not the worst thing possible here. Okay, we're going to lose against ace 8-7 deuce. Pretty standard stuff. Then over here, single raise probably defend the small blind. Not gonna reg again in the 2K tournament. So flop goes check, check. We bet the turn, pot the river with a boat. Should there be a Coinpoker championship for lower stakes players? I'm not sure what the point of that necessarily would be. But maybe there is a different way to do something promotional, because obviously this promotion has worked really well for Coinpoker. I mean, the amount of tables that are running is really incredible. Like if you look at the lobby right now, let me share this. 1 second. If you look at the lobby right now in Coinpoker, right, like this is only for the cash game championship, like these tables, this is all the 10-20 action right now. And then this is all the 2-5 action. All these tables are full, right? So obviously this works. And it brings people together. It brings people to want to play PLO on one side with massive volume. And I don't think it is only, or maybe not even primarily because of the championship. At 2K it probably is. At 2K, some people, they want to win the championship, but obviously only one player is going to be able to win the championship, right? But I think for most people, it is just a lot of fun to play, and they know there is no rake, and they can get in a lot of volume on one side, and it the side plays well. Like, it's fun to play on the side. So I think more of that would be great. Here, I think this should be a check back in theory, but I think in this particular setup, it's going to work out pretty well. So we bet. Turn is the ace of spades. Party's just happy taking a free card right there. And same thing for the river. In the meantime, over here, we defend the big blind and flop trips on this board, turning a straight on a jack. And then on the river, we can play check call or check raise. I think just check call is good enough. Like, if we have a bit of a weaker hand, maybe we want to just go, or like a, yeah, we could also go for a raise. But with this hand, the thing is, like, even if we raise, like, his hand is still going to call us a lot. And there are tons of bluffs we can just pick up by calling. So no need to, like, turn everything into a bluff there. Over here, we check raise the flop in the 1K. Pretty clean turn. Not a very clean river. Not a very clean river. That's how it goes sometimes. We're not cashing in the 1K. But yeah, got it in good. There's not much else to ask for. Okay. Where are we standing right now? I think we're going to wrap it up. Like, I want to play more volume, and I can't really do it on stream because it's just like the amount of things to think about and commentate on, which is kind of overwhelming. And also my voice is not that great right now. Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's going to happen sometimes. This is going to happen sometimes. It's unfortunate. Yeah, especially when this hand shows up there. That's part of the risk. Over here, 4-4-3-3. Just gonna end up calling this hand. And on the turning and sizing, we're just going to peel. Could have the best hand, can make the best hand, and it's just such a small sizing. And then this river is pretty bad. I mean, it's very bad. We just cannot win. Even the bluffs get there with like a 9 or something. He was bluffing, he hit the 9. It's okay. Yeah, okay. I think we're going to wrap it up for today, guys. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed the stream. Some tournament action. Obviously, the World Championship is going on. I'll be posting some videos next week here as well, breaking down some of the highlight hands that I've played on week 1. I've been preparing some breakdown, like more in-depth analysis. I will drop one of those videos here on YouTube. Usually, I produce them for the Mastermind, but I'm going to drop this one video on YouTube. So keep your eyes open for next week when I'll bring this one out. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube if you don't want to miss out on it. A lot of really, really interesting and cool hands. I mean, I've played thousands of hands, and some of them were pretty crazy. So if you don't want to miss any of that, then make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And with that, I am signing off today. This has been JNandez for the PLO, not for the PLO Mastermind, but for the PLO World Championship on Coinpoker.